Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video is going to be my January TBR. Now I know that January has already started. Today is January 7th, but I have been without internet for the past 10 days. I was actually out of town, so I didn't quite get to experience this travesty that I don't have internet, but I came back home a few days ago and I have been without internet. Today's the first day that I got internet back. Finally get to upload videos, and I finally get to not live in the Stone Age and not have Wi-Fi. It was horrible having to use my cellular data to connect with the outside world. So back to a regular schedule. I decided to choose 5 books this month. Now school has started. Actually today is the first day of school, so who knows if I'll get to read all of these books, but I'm hoping I will. Alright, so the first book that I plan on reading this month is a book that I actually already started reading. I started reading it in December, but I didn't finish it. I barely got 100 pages into the book by the time January came around, and that is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling. This is the 5th book in the Harry Potter series, and I started reading this, like I said, back in December. I meant to finish this during my vacation, however it didn't quite happen, so I'm planning on finishing this month. I am about 360 pages right now, so I'm almost halfway through this enormous book, this hunk of a book. This book is 800 pages, so it's taking me a while to get to it, but I love Harry Potter, I love the story, so I am enjoying my time reading this book. And then the next book that I'm planning on reading this month is Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Ganon. I think that's how you pronounce. I apologize if that's not how you pronounce the last name, but I've been hearing a lot of great things about this book. This was actually a book that I received on my December Owl Crate box, I think. And this is actually the Once Upon a Read-Along's book pick of the month for the month of January. Our live show is actually the last Sunday of this month, which I believe is January 27th. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on my good friend Chloe from the Brunette Bibliophiles channel. I'm so excited to dive into this book because it sounds really interesting. I love this cover. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then the next book that I'm planning on reading this month is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I love Neil Shusterman's writing. I read all of his Unwind series. It's one of my favorite dystopian series of all time. I love it, and I have had this book for a very long time, and I've been meaning to read it for a very long time. So my friend Desirai from Libri Labra, this is her book pick of the month for her book club, which is called Libri Labra, and she invited me to read this book and participate on her live show, which we don't have a date for it yet, but she already finished reading this book and she said it's absolutely amazing and fantastic. So I'm really excited to read this book because, again, I love Neil Shusterman. I love his books. I think they're fantastic, and the fact that she said that this book is also fantastic makes me want to pick up this book even more. It is about Grim Reapers and things like that. That's why it kind of looks like there's a Grim Reaper on the cover. I'm just excited to dive into this book, and again, I've had this book for a very long time, so it's about time that I read it. Alright, and then the next book that I want to read during the month of January is Defy the Worlds by Claudia Gray. This is the sequel to Defy the Stars, which is a sci-fi book set in outer space. It deals with an android or a cyborg who develops a human soul, human feelings, and he falls in love with this girl who's a human girl. And I loved the first book. I love the whole technology gaining human emotions or a human soul. I love that trope. I think it's fun. I love to read about it. And Defy the Stars was one of the Biblio Squad's book pick of the month, but I've been meaning to pick up Defy the Worlds ever since it came out. I finally bought the book and I really am excited to read it because I missed that world. I do have to say one thing. I hate that they changed the cover. One of my biggest pet peeves that publishers do is they change the cover mid-series. So this is the first book, Defy the Stars, and look at the second book. They changed the cover, and the fact of the matter is they're not going to reprint it. At least I don't think they are. They're not going to reprint the new cover for the first book. The first book, the paperback edition, is now in the new cover. However, I can't find the hardcover edition in the new cover because I don't think they will release it. This is a thing that publishers do. They change a book mid-series, but they don't change the original covers into the new covers, and it drives me nuts. I hate when publishers do this. I guess I have to live with it. I think this cover is so much uglier than this one, so I don't know what they were thinking when they decided to change the cover into this. Regardless, it's a great story, so I'm excited to read this book. And then the final book that I want to read this month is by Rupt Book. So I started doing this thing last year in which I took 12 12 of my most unread books. There are books that have been sitting on my shelves the longest. I didn't see myself picking them up anytime soon. I have no interest in reading them, and so I took them, I wrapped them, and every month I unwrapped one and I forced myself to read that book. And every book, they have a number on the spine, and every month I used to ask someone to just pick a number for me, and I decided to pick this one myself. This was one of the leftover books from last year. I had wrapped 14 books last year, but I only read 11 of my 14 wrapped books, so I have 3 leftovers. I chose another 9 for this year, so this year I have a total of 12, and I am going to do it. I'm going to read all 12 of my wrapped books, but I decided to choose number 1 because I thought it's January, it's the first month of the year. I thought number 1 will be appropriate. So this is the book that I will be reading this month. It's a paperback and it's fairly thin. Oh, okay. So this is a book that I bought a long time ago from Book Outlet. I think it was in one of my very first book hauls, and I bought the entire series. So I have the entire trilogy. In the past almost 3 years, I still haven't read it. And this is called The Pledge by Kimberly Durden. And this is a dystopian world where there is a caste system, and the caste system are divided by language, and she has this very rare ability to understand every single language. It's actually kind of interesting. I've heard a lot of great reviews, but I also heard some mixed reviews about this book, but I'm going to read this book. I'm very excited to read it, and I have the entire series, so if I end up not liking this book, it's gonna be very sad, because if I don't like the first book, I usually tend not to read the rest of the books. So here's to hoping that I really enjoy this book. And there you are, guys. That is my January TBR. I have 5 books, but a lot of these books are pretty big, like the Harry Potter books, so I'm hoping I can get through all of them, and hopefully I can even pick up a 6th book, but who knows. Let me know down in the comments below what book you're most excited to read this month, because I would really love to know. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. All of my social medias are linked down below, including Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads if you'd like to follow me on those platforms. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day, guys, and keep reading. Bye!